Hello out there. Good morning and welcome to the Heavy Montae's Morning Show. Today, October 17th, 2025. Now in America, the first thing we want to do this morning is to remind everyone about the No Kings protests. Now in America, Donald Trump has declared himself a king, and he comes equipped, America, as you all can see, with what they call a cabinet, but we can call it the King's Court. The King Courts is full of racist, misogynists, and lunatics, America. Unqualified people there. They were placed there, America, to protect a criminal president. Now in America. Now, I want to say a little something more about that criminal cabinet. That criminal cabinet is part of the propaganda communication machine, you see. You understand? All right. They tell the lies for the king. They are the king enforcers, America. They enforce policies such as giving $40 billion to Argentina while our farmers starve and lose their farms. But I told the farmers before that is the plan. The plan is to take your land, get you to help them do it, give it away by voting for a criminal and a convict. And they plan to build, they tell me, big, large factories on your land and use AI. Don't even need the Hispanics anymore. That's the reason why they say they get rid of them early. You see what I'm saying, America? This is the kind of stuff that you are dealing with when you are dealing with white supremacy. This white supremacy that is intended to make the white so-called male, in charge of everything. That's every human being on the planet. And in America, they want to control everything. You see, you see what I'm saying? Not America. We are not a white country or a black country. You know, Americans don't want to live in a society like that. But Project 2025 says that's the way we are going. So tomorrow, we are going to stand up and protest. And I tell you again, because Heavy Montae can see the future. You understand? Okay? And the future is you cannot have your name associated with a Nazi Republican Party. You understand? You know, you have to be safe. And the safe place for you is in the Democratic Party. And we're not asking you to come over to the party without us explaining to you who and what we are. And the Democratic Party is you, America. Huh? We want to make sure your children eat. We want to make sure crime comes down. We want to make sure we clean up the environment. And we want to make sure that the American people have jobs and health care. But do you hear the Republican Party talking about these things? No. You hear them talking about blowing up boats in Venezuela, huh? You heard about that, huh? You hear them talking about they want to shoot missiles in this San Francisco, things like that. Test missiles, I understand, you know, sending out military into the city and attacking the American people. We don't want to be attacked. We want help. We need help. But America, now, the maggot Supreme Court, because Project 2025 is a race war. Okay. It is a race war with several subtitles, which is diminish the black power in America, voting power in Congress, huh? Attack and set laws and rules to get rid of gays and transgender America. You understand? Get rid of the Hispanics, you see, and continue the war against the American people. That is what Project 2025 is. And you're not safe because I told you there is no white people. You understand? So when they create this white race, it's pick and choose. Say, this one the white, this one don't. We got red hair. Oh, we can't count the Italians. You see what I'm saying? Oh, the Greek people? No. Mixed people? No. You see how ridiculous it is, America? Huh? For us to have a president and a political party, excuse me, who thinks like that? Huh? That is godless. That is godless. Huh? That is immoral, to treat your own people like dogs, you know, to treat your own people wrong because they're dark, they're light, they're gay, they're straight, huh? To say I'm going to refuse to give the American people health care and I'm going to blame it on the Democrats, you know, when I have unfettered power. The people gave us the power to make our lives better because you told them that you were going to make their lives great. You see, but when you tell a lie to people, the first thing you do to those people in America is you take away their voice. That's why you see nothing but bots on Facebook. You see them saying, those rich people, those billionaires, who planned this thing, who are Project 2025 because Biden wanted them to tax and pay their fair share. And they said, we ain't paying shit. So they joined up with a criminal Nazi party to protect their money. And they said to the Nazi, huh? They said they had a group of them, you know, their name is out there who put together Project 2025. Even though Donald Trump was lying and said he knew nothing about it, riding around on the plane with the guy saying, "Yeah, don't worry about it." Them dumbasses that vote for me, they're stupid. We can tell them anything. You see? And so what happened now is that they got together now. You see? So, but if you register as a Democrat, like Heavy told you, because they put them together. They said, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We have a crossword word puzzle here, My wife loves puzzles. She can put a puzzle together, any puzzle. And they said this puzzle we're gonna put together is gonna be, you know, we're gonna take over the country and we're gonna gerrymander here, there, everywhere. And we're gonna cheat. We're gonna get rid of all the blacks and make them all whites. You know what I'm saying? Because these white people were scared. Because we told these white people that, you know, these blacks were taking their space. They would be happy. You know what I'm saying? No, they ain't gonna be happy because they gonna figure you lying. You know what I'm trying to say? These black folks trying to make it. You see what I'm saying? Ain't enough black people in the dang on country to take all those white people's space. Boy, they got some game with them. Boy, they lie like shit. But anyway, Heavy told you. Heavy told you all this stuff. You see, America, because we don't want people in America. You know, as much as I talk nasty about these maggots, friends of mine, they're people and they've been manipulated. So who am I to judge them? Huh? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna still talk shit about them. You know what I'm saying? But in my heart, I love them. I'm trying to move them over to my way of thinking, and that way of thinking is love and peace. Huh? Love and peace for everyone, not hatred. You know, for your neighbor, a human being. I don't like this one because he's gay. I don't like this one because he's transgender. I don't like this one because he's white. I don't like this one because he's black. I don't like this one because he's Irish. You're not gonna like any damn body, because people are great. And Heavy talk to as many of them as I can. Seriously, you know. I talk to as many as I can. I told everybody about my little vacation with my friends from Alaska and here in America. You know, friendship means a lot to me, and I love my friends, especially ones I can trust, that care about me and just the presence of the love of the people make you feel good. You see what I'm saying? America. Make you feel good when you're with your family. Your children come to visit you after a year and you see them and your grandchildren. That's the love that Americans should have for everyone. Charlie Kirk shouldn't be going around teaching what he teach. You see what I'm saying? Telling people to hate people. We expect more from the our institutions, our religious institutions. That's why we give them, tax, free. They can tax. They have no taxes because they're supposed to be in the community, you know, doing, improving, and helping the government make things better, but not the mega church. The mega church is an instrument and a tool of a communist government because you're living in communism right now. Donald Trump said he wants to take and set the prices for everything right now. That's what Donald Trump said. Huh? That's communism. You know, you need to know what the hell you're voting for when you vote. You see, you know, but you've been trained in the church, you know, by people to say, look, turn things over to me, your minister. I'll tell you what to do and how to live and how to vote. Hmm? And that's why you're in trouble because you didn't think for yourself. You know, education today in America is absolutely free. You know, you can learn a lot of shit on YouTube. You know, Plato, he said that he didn't even believe that people needed to go to school. They just learn by, living, you know, just learn from other folks. No school, just learn. Touch the stove and it burn you. You know, see, you won't touch it again. That's what Plato said. You don't have to live with that now. You have, you know, YouTube. You have books. You have big libraries, and people to, to listen to. You don't even have to read the book no more. You can put it on, video. I mean, on, audio. If you want to learn something, you can learn a language, whatever. You can damn sure learn how to vote. You see? You understand? Now, uh, there's an old saying that people say, doing the same thing over and over and over. And I'm going to say, use the hot stove. You touch it and it burns you over and over. But you just want to make sure, that, whatever, you just keep touching the stove and keep getting burned. Have to go to the hospital with so many burns, but you keep doing it. That's insanity. And that's what the Republican Party is. Insanity. Corrupt. You know what I'm saying? Now, I told you everybody about this voter rights. And I've always said that John Roberts is a freaking voter suppressionist. And the Supreme Court is getting ready to knock down the Voting Rights Act. And black people, we've been through this before. Every time black people start getting like this, they come with something to push us back. You see what I'm saying? You know, either Jim Crow, you had slavery, then they had Jim Crow, and they had all this stuff. That's the reason why they don't want the history out there. Because if white people knew just how savage and what they did to black people, they would go, oh my God, any decent human being would say, damn, I don't believe this shit. Torture, rape, sodomy, all kind of shit. Evil the stuff you could do to human beings. You know what I'm saying? And here you sit today saying that you don't want any black people in your government. Donald Trump, you fucking pig. You see? You understand? But I say this to America. Black people are very resilient and very smart. You understand? There's been one saying, and it's been said by many, many black people. You understand? And black people never listen to this. So Heavy is going to repeat it today. Black people, you don't need the federal government. Do for yourself what you expect for them to do for you. If you want me to be more Pacific, I can. You have tons of money in your race. And there's not that damn many of you, and you have a lot more damn money in your race than you have freaking people. You see? So if you invest your money in your race and build up these colleges and build hospitals in your community, you understand? Build universities. People start universities all the time. The Christians, shit. Bob Jones University. Do your own freaking university. You don't need the federal government. You understand? But I'm gonna tell you something else. The majority of you so-called white people need the federal government because there's a lot of you. You understand? That's the reason why they tell you that the black man ain't worth a damn, and the black man is your problem. If you get rid of the black man, then out of your life and shit, you get all the freaking jobs and all this shit. You see? You segregate the black people again, you will grow a nation. You understand? You understand? Of educated people. Now you remember, this race of black people came from slavery. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get any education for 100 fucking years. And look at them today. You should embrace these people. You know what I'm saying? They're Americans and tell your family, look what these people went through. And they're here now today. But no, not a racist and not a misogynist. But you majority of you poor white people need the government. And Donald Trump has proven that you need the government farmer, that you need your SNAP money, you poor people, that you need proper education for your kids, because you're disabled people and all this stuff. You disabled white people, you see, you need your government. And I'm not saying that black people don't need it. Miss Gravy, we would love our government to love us as much as we love our government. And we're going to continue loving our government even if they separate us. You know why? You know why? Because we can make it. You see? We got protections, I believe. I don't believe the government will let them come over and burn down our Wall Street again. You know, I don't know. I'm trying to tell you, I don't think they're going to be able to do that shit. I'm saying? A lot of us out there now. I'm just trying to let you know. You know. So anyway, I just say to you, America, that we all need to live together. And I gave you those examples. That's only examples. I'm not endorsing any of that shit, separation, race wars, and all that shit. I'm not a Republican. You know what I'm saying? I love my country. Okay? Just the way it is. With all the problems it has, we're working together, but not a Republican. A Republican say it's my way or the highway. And the last thing I want to say today, because my morning shows get real long. America attend the No Kings protest tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Do not do anything crazy. Peaceful protest is the way it is because the numbers is what we want. We don't want any violence. We want people out there. You see, out there. And so this is Heavy Monte for the Heavy Monte podcast and the Heavy Monte comedy show, saying Americans need to love one another. You understand? You're my maggot friends, but you got to be who you are, and who you are should be loved. This is Heavy Monte for the Heavy Monte podcast and the Heavy Monte comedy show, saying have a good morning, and please subscribe to the Heavy Monte's YouTube channel.